Picture a foggy morning in a cozy Massachusetts town, where a little girl in a red raincoat walks 6 massive German shepherds, no leashes, just love and trust. It's a story of heartbreak, healing, and the kind of loyalty that'll warm your soul. I'm so excited to share Lily's journey with you today. It's a reminder that family comes in all shapes, even furry ones. If you love stories that tug at your heart and lift your spirits, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single tale from our small-town adventures. Let's dive in. The sleepy town of Willow Creek, nestled along the coast of Massachusetts, woke to a familiar sight on a crisp March morning in 2025. A thick fog draped Main Street, softening the edges of the quaint shops and weathered clapboard houses. Locals sipped coffee on their porches, their breath visible in the chilly air, when a ripple of movement caught their attention. 6 massive German shepherds emerged from the mist, their powerful frames moving in perfect harmony, like a unit of soldiers on a mission. Their dark eyes gleamed with focus, muscles rippling beneath glossy coats, and yet, no leashes restrained them. They marched with purpose, a symphony of strength and discipline, drawing gasps from the growing crowd of onlookers. At the center of this canine procession was a figure so small she was nearly swallowed by the towering dogs, a little girl. No older than 6, her red raincoat a splash of color against the gray dawn. Lily Harper, with her delicate hands and quiet demeanor, seemed an unlikely commander for such formidable beasts. Yet the dogs flanked her protectively, responding to the faintest tilt of her head or a whispered word with uncanny precision. They halted as one when she paused, turned when she gestured. Their loyalty to her absolute. To the townsfolk craning their necks from behind picket fences, it was a sight both mesmerizing and unsettling. "Something's off about that," grumbled Clara Jenkins, a retired librarian perched on her porch swing, her sharp eyes narrowing as she watched Lily and her pack pass by. No kid that age should have those kinds of dogs under her thumb like that. "Mark my words, there's more to this than meets the eye." Clara's words hung in the air, a quiet spark that would soon ignite a wildfire of curiosity and revelations across Willow Creek. Little did anyone know that this pint-sized girl in a red raincoat was hiding a secret so extraordinary it would shake the town to its core, revealing a story of loss, love, and the unbreakable bonds that tie us together. Lily hadn't always been the silent shepherd of 6 German shepherds. Born to Jack and Emily Harper, a couple renowned across New England for training police dogs, her early years were filled with the joyful chaos of a home where canines were family. Jack and Emily had built a legacy over 2 decades, their dogs sniffing out danger and saving lives from Boston to Bar Harbor. Lily grew up toddling among puppies destined for greatness, her tiny hands patting their heads as her parents marveled at her natural gift. At just 3, she could soothe their wildest rescue, a scarred shepherd named Titan, with a gentle touch that left seasoned trainers in awe. But that world crumbled on a stormy November night in 2022. A delivery truck, its driver distracted by a phone call, barreled through a red light on Route 28, slamming into the Harper's SUV. Jack and Emily were killed instantly, leaving 4-year-old Lily miraculously unscathed in her car seat, but forever changed. The chatterbox who once giggled through puppy playtime fell silent, her voice locked away by grief. Doctors called it selective mutism, a response to trauma, and noted signs of mild autism that explained her deepening bond with the dogs she'd always loved. Now living with her grandparents, George and Ruth Harper, in their cozy Cape Cod cottage, Lily's life took on a new rhythm. George, 75, battled a weak heart, while Ruth, 73, wrestled with arthritis that made every step a chore. The couple faced a daunting task, raising a grieving 6-year-old alongside 6 highly trained German shepherds, Titan, Daisy, Ranger, Luna, Shadow, and Rex. These weren't just pets. They were working dogs, bred for action, and their energy demanded exercise and structure the elderly Harpers struggled to provide. Yet they couldn't bear to part Lily from the dogs. Her last tether to the parents she'd lost. Behind the cottage's faded green door, something remarkable unfolded. Lily, unable to speak to people, found her voice in the dogs. She unearthed her parents' training journals in the attic, worn notebooks filled with commands, sketches, and notes about each dog's quirks. Night after night, she pored over them by flashlight, teaching herself their methods. With subtle hand signals and soft whistles, she brought the pack to heel. Their obedience a testament to her quiet determination. To the dogs, she wasn't a broken child, she was their leader, their purpose, their family. Clara Jenkins, with her keen eye and knack for meddling, watched this unfold with growing unease. A former librarian who'd spent decades shaping young minds, she prided herself on spotting trouble. To her, a 6-year-old commanding 6 massive dogs without a leash wasn't a marvel, it was a ticking time bomb. She didn't know the half of it. Clara harbored a secret tied to Lily's tragedy, one that gnawed at her conscience and fueled her crusade to protect the girl. As Willow Creek buzzed with whispers about the little dog whisperer, Clara's suspicions set the stage for a reckoning no one saw coming. By the 3rd week of Lily's morning walks, Main Street had a new ritual. Shopkeepers paused their sweeping. Tourists snapped photos, and locals set their watches by the sight of a tiny girl in a red raincoat leading 6 German shepherds through town. The dogs moved like a well-oiled machine, Titan at the front, his 90-pound frame a quiet command, while the others flanked Lily in perfect formation. Her red sneakers peeked out from the sea of fur, her step steady despite the chaos of a waking town. What started as a shy trek through backstreets had blossomed into a daily parade, equal parts awe-inspiring and confounding. "Look at that," chuckled Tom Delaney, the grizzled owner of Delaney's Hardware, as he unlocked his shop. "Those dogs listen to her better than my grandkids listen to me." He wasn't wrong. Smartphones captured Lily's every move, videos of her splitting the pack with a flick of her wrist or pausing them at crosswalks with a single gesture went viral among Willow Creek residents. Tourists begged for selfies with the dog whisperer, though Lily rarely looked up from her furry charges. Officer Mike Sullivan, a burly cop who'd once trained with Jack Harper, started trailing her walks, not out of suspicion, but admiration. "Never seen anything like it," he'd mutter, shaking his head. But not everyone was charmed. Clara Jenkins, peering through her lace curtains, timed Lily's outings with a stopwatch, her lips pursed in disapproval. "Where are her grandparents?" she'd hissed to her husband, who'd long since stopped answering. Those dogs could turn on her, or someone else, in a heartbeat. It's reckless. Her unease found echoes among a handful of townsfolk. The PTA mom worried Lily wasn't in school, the retiree who'd read one too many dog attack headlines. Whispers of strange and dangerous began to swirl. A quiet storm brewing beneath the surface. Then came Ethan Brooks, a young reporter from the Cape Cod Chronicle, in town to visit his mom. He stumbled onto Lily's procession one Tuesday morning and saw gold, a human interest story with legs. That night, his piece, "The Dog Whisperer Girl, Miracle or Mistake?" hit the web, complete with grainy photos and a quote from Clara, "We're either seeing a gift or a disaster waiting to happen." By Wednesday, national TV had picked it up. "Is this 6-year-old a prodigy or a peril?" chirped a morning show host, flashing Lily's image across screens nationwide. The hashtag Dog Whisperer Girl trended. And Willow Creek found itself in the spotlight. For George and Ruth, the attention was a nightmare. Reporters camped out on their lawn, strangers knocked at all hours, and their phone rang with everything from praise to threats. George's heart condition flared under the stress, landing him in the ER, while Ruth fielded calls from folks who'd never set foot in Massachusetts. Lily, sensing the chaos, retreated deeper into silence. Her walks shifting to pre-dawn hours when the streets were empty. The dogs grew edgy, growling at passing cars, their protectiveness dialed up by her distress. The town split in two, those who saw a miracle in Lily's bond with her pack, and those, like Clara, who saw a tragedy in the making. Amid the uproar, Dr. Sam Carter, a veterinarian fresh from Cornell, watched with a scientist's eye. He'd joined Willow Creek's vet practice just months before and recognized something extraordinary in the leaked videos. "This isn't a circus trick," he told his boss, Dr. Henry Walsh. "That girl's built a language with those dogs, adaptive, precise, therapeutic. It's not a sideshow, it's a lifeline." Sam's words hinted at a truth the headlines missed. Lily's connection to her dogs wasn't just survival, it was healing. The tipping point came one foggy morning when Lily, alone with her pack, veered into the town park. A toddler darted across that path, chasing a ball, stumbled too close to tighten. The big shepherd leaped into action, not to attack, but to shield Lily, nudging her back as the child's mother scooped him up, shrieking. Phones caught it all, and by noon, the clip was everywhere. "Hero dog or hidden threat," screamed the headlines. Clara seized her moment, marching to the mayor's office with a petition, "Do something before someone gets hurt." Mayor Laura Evans, caught between a media storm and a divided town, called an emergency meeting. The police chief, town lawyer, and reps from child services and animal control hashed it out behind closed doors. The next day, a press conference drew cameras from Boston. "Willow Creek prioritizes safety," the mayor said, sweat beading despite the cool air. "We're launching an investigation into Lily Harper's situation." It was vague enough to appease no one. Clara crowed it was too late, while Lily's supporters booed the mention of an animal assessment. That evening, a sleek sedan rolled up to the Harper cottage. Caseworker Rachel Morgan and Officer Tim Brooks stepped out, greeted by Ruth's wary gaze. Lily, clutching Titan's fur, watched from the couch as the adults sat down. "We're here to assess Lily's welfare and the dog's management," Rachel began, her tone calm but firm. George, voice trembling, explained, "These dogs are her link to Jack and Emily. After the crash, they're what kept her going." Tim eyed the pack warily as Titan stared back. "Safety protocols still apply," he said. "6 dogs this size, it's a lot." As the adults talked, Lily's fingers danced subtly, sending the dogs to their spots around the room, a silent ballet that left Rachel and Tim wide-eyed. "Lily," Rachel asked gently, "are you happy here?" Lily met her gaze for a fleeting second, then looked away, offering no words. A hearing was set for the following week, and as the officials left, Ruth whispered to George, "We can't lose her, or them." Outside, Clara watched from across the street, her secret weighing heavier than ever. The investigation kicked off with a flurry of experts descending on the Harper cottage. Rachel Morgan returned with Dr. Alan Reese, a child psychologist versed in trauma, their clipboards and cameras turning the quiet home into a lab. Ruth hovered anxiously, offering coffee as George rested upstairs, his heart too fragile for the chaos. Lily sat cross-legged on the rug, her 5 remaining shepherds. Daisy had been briefly kenneled for a vet check, arrayed around her like sentinels. Dr. Reese noted Titan's steady gaze, alert but calm, as the strangers settled in. "We'd like to see Lily's routine," Rachel explained, setting up a camera with Ruth's hesitant nod. For hours, they watched as Lily moved through her day, her hands weaving a silent code the dogs obeyed flawlessly. A tap sent Ranger to the door, a whistle brought Luna to her side. Dr. Reese scribbled furiously, captivated by how Lily locked eyes with the dogs but avoided humans. "It's a closed system," he murmured to Rachel. "She's built a world with them, breaking it could unravel her." The morning walk was the main event. Ruth zipped Lily into her raincoat, whispering, "They'll stay back, sweetie." The crowd on Main Street was thicker than ever, drawn by rumors of the hearing. Lily's pack tightened around her as strangers pressed close, their formation a living shield. Dr. Reese marveled aloud, the trust here, it's profound. Separating them might do more harm than good. Rachel, ever the skeptic, countered, but is it healthy? Or just a crutch keeping her from healing? Clara Jenkins muscled through the onlookers, cornering Rachel. You see it now, don't you? A kid can't handle those beasts in a crisis, it's a disaster waiting to happen. Rachel stayed neutral. We're assessing everything, Mrs. Jenkins. We'll have answers soon. Behind her cool facade, Clara's guilt churned. 2 years ago, she'd been the distracted driver in that fatal crash, 2 glasses of wine at lunch, a red light missed. She'd confessed in a letter to Ruth, begging forgiveness, but Ruth had kept it hidden, fearing more pain for Lily. As the week wore on, experts piled up, a vet behaviorist for the dogs, an occupational therapist for Lily, a social worker for George and Ruth. The cottage buzzed with activity, yet Lily grew quieter, her nods to Ruth her only bridge to the human world. But something shifted in the observers. The vet praised the dog's training, the therapist noted Lily's focus, each left with more awe than alarm. Late one night, Ruth sat alone, the letter from Clara trembling in her hands. She'd buried it in her sewing box, convinced silence was mercy. Now, with Lily's future at stake, doubt gnawed at her. The hearing loomed, but a bombshell dropped first. Pete Russo, the burly owner of Russo's Diner, arrived with a USB drive. Caught this on my security cam, he said, plugging it into George's old PC. The grainy footage showed Lily, alone with Titan, by the town pond 2 months back. She'd leaned too far, chasing a drifting leaf, and tumbled in. Thrashing in shallow water, she couldn't climb out, until Titan plunged in, lifting her to safety with his broad shoulders. She clung to him, coughing, as he nudged her upright. She never told us, Ruth whispered, tears welling. Said she'd tripped in a puddle. Dr. Sam Carter, there to prep for the hearing, froze the frame. Titan's not just trained, he's her guardian. He acted on his own to save her. Rachel typed furiously. This changes everything, it's proof of protection, not aggression. Word spread fast. By afternoon, a crowd rallied outside animal control, signs reading, Free Titan, Hero Dog. George watched the news, voice breaking. We've been so focused on what the dogs do for Lily, we didn't see what she means to them. The day before the hearing, Lily sat at the kitchen table, scribbling on a notepad. Ruth thought it was doodles, but Sam peeked and gasped. Pages of neat writing detailed her dog's roles, her training signals, even her fears of losing them. Lily, he said softly, you've been ready for this all along, haven't you? She nodded, pushing a page forward, words stick in my throat. But my hands work fine. Sam grinned. You're gonna blow that judge away. The hearing packed the Willow Creek courthouse. Judge Ellen Carter, a no-nonsense veteran of family law, silenced the gallery with a look. Rachel presented the team's findings. Lily's bond was therapeutic, but safety needed addressing. Clara testified next, her voice firm but faltering as she painted the dogs as risks. Then Sam took the stand, his data-driven calm cutting through her fearmongering. These dogs are Lily's lifeline, he said. Splitting them would break her. Judge Carter paused. I'd like to hear from Lily. Ruth tensed, but Lily rose, clutching her notepad. The judge knelt beside her, voice warm. Can I read what you wrote? Lily handed it over, and Ellen read aloud, I'm Lily Harper. 6. My parents died when I was 4. I can't talk much, it's stuck since the crash. The dogs are my family. Titan saved me at the pond, Ranger keeps my nightmares away. I learned their signals from Mom and Dad's books. They're not dangerous, they're my voice. Please don't take them. A hush fell. Then, to everyone's shock, Lily whispered, "They're how I talk when I can't." Her voice, rusty but clear, cracked the room wide open. Clara's resolve wavered. "Your Honor," she said, standing, I withdraw my petition. But please, ensure her safety." The judge nodded, then revealed Ruth's secret, Clara's letter. Slipped to the attorney mid-hearing. "We'll address this separately," Ellen said, eyeing Clara's pale face. Her ruling balanced it all. The dogs stayed with Lily, deemed service animals. Under Sam's oversight, George and Ruth got support, and Clara's role in the crash would face its own reckoning. As Lily hugged Titan that night, Willow Creek exhaled, a town forever changed by a little girl and her loyal pack. The aftermath of the hearing brought a fragile peace to Willow Creek. Max returned to Lily's side, his release a quiet triumph marked by her rare, radiant smile. The town rallied around the Harpers, meals arrived daily. Volunteers fixed the cottage's sagging porch, and a retired teacher offered to homeschool Lily. Dr. Sam Carter's therapeutic program took root, blending Lily's canine code into a model for kids with trauma. She helped demonstrate, her whispers growing into short sentences, her confidence blooming alongside the daffodils that Ruth planted in their yard. Clara Jenkins faded from the spotlight, her confession unraveling her pristine image. She checked into rehab, her husband revealing her struggle to a stunned community. A letter arrived for Ruth, private, heartfelt, softening the older woman's gaze. George's heart mended slowly, his days spent transcribing Jack's journals into a training guide Sam used nationwide. By spring 2026, Lily, now 7, walked to school with Titan, his service vest a badge of their bond. Willow Creek passed a pet therapy ordinance, earning national praise. On the hearing's anniversary, the town unveiled a plaque by the pond, "For Lily Harper and Titan, a bond of healing." Lily spoke, voice steady, "Mom and Dad said dogs and people help each other. I think they'd be happy now." The crowd cheered, and Ruth whispered, "They're so proud, sweetie." In the twilight of their years, Willow Creek learned from Lily, redemption comes in unexpected forms, and family, furry or not, guides us through the dark into light. Lily's story teaches us that healing can come from the most unexpected places, like the loyal paws of 6 dogs who became her voice when words failed. It's a beautiful reminder that love and courage can rebuild even the most broken hearts, and that community matters when life gets tough. What's your takeaway from Lily's journey? Drop a comment below, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if this touched you, give it a like and share it with someone who needs a little hope today.